Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am in Seattle, Washington, and I am excited to be here with you for another episode of the African Father in America podcast. And today I have a special guest that is joining us for the show. We have my brother Rahman Nagwere, who is an incredible artist, originally from Uganda, and here with us in Seattle, Washington. Rahman, go ahead and say hello to our viewers and our listeners as we begin the conversation.
Hello, Jambo, Shikamo, Muli Mutia for the Ugandans. My name is Rahman. I come from Uganda and originally from Eastern Uganda and Mbale. We have very close. We are very close to Kenya. I have very close attachment to Kenya because my dad walked through Mount Elgon to Kenya when he was like running away from some political issues sometime back. So I feel like we are not just neighbors, we're just like one big family.
We are one big family. I can't wait to dive deep into the story you just shared with us there, about your connection to Kenya and how Uganda and Kenya and many African countries neighbor each other, But long before the colonialists created these borders, we were families. In fact, we come from the same ancestors, the Bantus, you're talking about the Bantus and they are from the same ancestry, So I just want you to know that you're in the right place. We're going to go deeper into this. I want us to start with today's proverb. And before I do that, I just want to, first of all, thank everyone who is joining us over there on TikTok. I want you to take a minute and share the link to this live stream. My goal with the live stream over there on TikTok is to just make sure that you all share the live that we have there, where we are broadcasting today's episode live on TikTok. But we are also live on YouTube, where that's our home. YouTube is the primary place where we broadcast the AFIAPodcast. So make sure you subscribe to the channel over there as well. And I'm just about to share the link, the proverb for the day. I'm about to share the proverb for the day. So get your pen and paper ready so that you can engage with it and let us know what you think about it and what it brings up for you. This is a beautiful, beautiful proverb, and I'm going to share 3 nuggets about this proverb. It says that throwing pebbles at an elephant in no way disturbs him. Throwing pebbles at an elephant in no way disturbs him. That's a beautiful Nigerian proverb. I want you to share with me in the comments what this proverb means for you. I see that Binti Africa, who is another amazing creator and artist, is joining us, and also show host is joining us all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so much. Binti Africa was a guest of mine here on the show not too long ago, and it was just wonderful. Now, I want to share 3 nuggets of wisdom quickly around this proverb, and then I want to create space for my special guest, Rahman, to be able to also dive into this proverb and give us some of his own wisdom around it. So the first nugget of wisdom around this proverb says that don't waste your energy on things that you can't control. It's like throwing pebbles at an elephant. It's not going to make a difference. The elephant is too big. The little pebbles will not help with anything. Number 2, focus on your own journey. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone is on their own unique path. while you're being bothered by the elephant walking by, you're throwing little pebbles at it, it's still just eating. If it came to enjoy some of the fruits and vegetables in your garden, it will still do it and then go, because the elephant has always been on that path. Its ancestors have always been on that path. So you just came and occupied its space, So while you are bothered by its existence, it's not bothered by your existence. It's just doing what it's used to doing, So you also be on your own path and let the elephant be on its own path, Then the final nugget of wisdom: don't let setbacks discourage you. Everyone experiences setbacks in life, and it's also part of, it's part of the journey of growth. Just keep moving forward and never give up. Even if you've thrown so many pebbles at the elephant and there is no response, you feel like giving up, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Maybe you'll find the result that you're looking for eventually. So a lot of us are always discouraged. Some of you are actually heading to work now. I remember when I used to work 9 to 5, this was around the time when I was leaving my house, but sometime I didn't even feel like leaving my house because the environment at work was not so conducive, And so these are the moments where I used to contemplate, do I call in sick or do I just show up the way I don't want to show up, And so don't let the setback from yesterday discourage you from showing up today, Just show up and do what you need to do. And eventually, once you've discovered the new path that you want to take, you take it courageously. But always show up no matter what the situation is. So I want to bring on my guest, my brother Rahman Agwere, who is an incredible artist from Uganda, and one of the people who have really supported my work here in the Pacific Northwest, in Seattle, Washington. My brother, what do you think about this proverb that we're discussing today from Nigeria? What does it bring up for you?
It's a very important teaching. I really also hold on to a lot of proverbs in my life to live in an everyday life. Not throwing pebbles at the elephant, knowing that it's not gonna do anything. I mean, it carries a lot in our lives. Like when somebody also said there's many ways of skinning a cat. I mean, we don't eat cats, but they just said it like that. So this elephant that you think is, or this someone in your village that you think has prospered very faster than you, someone in the classroom that you think is smarter than you, or even in the neighborhood, if you hated them and just like whatever they did, and they don't know, they can't feel, this elephant cannot feel that pain. They cannot feel that you're going through all that. But you inside yourself, you're hurting, you're getting sick every day from that stress of, seeing somebody prosper. The best way to get around a big elephant is by you starting your own little fire, you starting your own little thing. The elephant also has some things that, or areas of need at some point. The elephant can be too big to enter some places, but you in your size, it could be able to like help that elephant access whatever they cannot. So you can find a way or ground where you can both work together. Maybe at some point this elephant will give you a ride to some of the destinations that your small feet cannot get there. It's just like befriending a rich person or a prosperous person.
I love that. I love that a lot, actually. It's about collaboration. I was learning recently, a lot of the time, if you think about it, even YouTube, where we are right now, even podcasting, what we are doing right now, even TikTok, social media has made it so that collaboration is unavoidable. You have to collaborate, if you're a podcaster like me, you have to have guests in order for your show to be complete. And then you have to have an audience in order for your show to actually be complete. But then all of these people are collaborating with each other. There are some of you who are watching the show who always show up for me. Sometimes it's the proverbs that interest you. Sometimes it's your belief in me that interests you. But sometimes it's because Rahman, who is my guest today, you're like, I have to show up for him because he's being interviewed today. But at the end of the day, we are all collaborating, just like my brother was saying, we all need to find a way to, to start our own little fires. You never know who is going to come around and enjoy the warmth from the fire that you start, I love that thinking a lot. Now, if you're just joining me for the first time for the AFIAPodcast, I've been doing this for the last 3 years plus, and I started this just for myself, to be honest with you guys, for my own mental health. I had lost my mom around the time that I was starting this podcast, and she used a lot of proverbs in bringing us up, in educating us, mentoring us. So I was like, all these proverbs that I've been collecting over the years, I want to begin sharing them more. And so I began, sharing on social media, sharing through this platform. And before I knew it, I began hosting, groups of people, individual guests. And so if you want to help me develop this into even a bigger platform that uplifts African culture, especially here in the diaspora, then you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's really what I'm focusing on at the moment. Subscribe, but also make sure you let somebody else know that, hey, we have this platform that is focusing on uplifting African culture, bringing wonderful guests, discussing African proverbs, but also talking about stories. This next question that we're about to dive into is really about storytelling. I love sharing my own story, that when I was 8 years old, my mother asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood. I grew up in Kisumu, the third largest city in Kenya, not too far from Uganda. In fact, we share Lake Victoria. Kisumu is one of the biggest cities on the shores of Lake Victoria. And so, my mother was very smart. She was a smart business person. And so she would go to the milk depot in downtown Kisumu, buy a lot of milk in wholesale and buy bread in wholesale. And then she asked us to distribute this stuff in the neighborhood. We would repackage the milk and the bread into smaller quantities and distribute it in the neighborhoods. And so for me, this was an eye-opener. It was something that taught me discipline, taught me how to build relationships, and taught me what's possible. You can get this from here, bring it here, make a little something, and if you're consistent, you'd open your own shop, you'd open your own factory. You can do whatever you want as long as you can build relationships, especially business relationships. And so I ask my guests to share a similar story that happened when they were maybe 8, when they were 12. So Rahman, think about a story that you want to share with us that when you look back, it really drives you today. It's really the core of why you wake up and hustle, not just for yourself, but for your family and for your community. Talk to us, please.
Yeah, wow, what an inspiring story. I mean, if you're an African child, I think there's always a similarity. It could be from Nigeria, West Africa, South Africa. We all have a similarity in how we grew up. I listened to Trevor Noah's book. Like, he also had that story too that inspires the young generation. Of course, it will go on forever. But I remember when I was little, there's a lot of ways that I build my skills. I did not know I was building skills then, or building the dreams, but I listened. I think listening helped me a lot to whatever was going on, to the voice inside too. I remember this part of it wasn't about work. It's just something that I would sit in a certain tree, especially days that I did not go to school, and look beyond the horizon. We were in a village, and on this village we could overlook the city. It was like down, and beyond the city, I would see that nice strip of blue, and I knew someday I would be beyond somewhere there. It was like just quiet moment, just looking far away as a young boy and admiring. And I'm walking around without shoes, my torn shorts and stuff, and I'm thinking like that. And I also remember waking up to a ray of light. We did not have electricity. They went through the big vents that we used to have in the morning too. It was like a nice light that looked like electricity. And I knew that maybe one day I would be in a place with good lighting. Then I also remember now that the work part of it is I did a lot of work. I went to the garden to dig and then grow food. I grew up with my aunties after my mom passed also in 1996. So I did a lot of handwork. I went to the garden, grew food, harvested food, brought that food to the generator to make the flour. I went to the village. My grandma called me her husband. So whenever I went to the village, she would just say, I have these problems. Then I'd pick up the axe and go to the field and cut a tree, chop it up, and leave the village with her. And a lot of stock of firewood there, enough for when I come back next time. And I did the cooking most of the time. I got up in the morning and lit a fire to tea for my cousin because I grew up with my auntie. Like these hand skills that I think right now are very beneficial. I'm in America now. One of the places that I think had in my dreams while I sat in that tree and looked over the horizon. I'm a dad too. Whatever I did not have in that life now then makes me want to work hard to also provide for my little one and also teach her hand skills that could help her in the future when I'm also not here. I look at my cousins. It's not a way of laughing at them. They were very soft. They had a good life. My auntie was so caring with them. She did not push them the way she pushed me. But amongst all of us, we were like 8 kids. I am now the one that managed to graduate from university. It's called Uganda Christian University with public administration. And all these other cousins, they did not. Right now, I'm more supportive to my people back home and including my auntie right now. There's more. There's a lot to say.
I love it. I love it. I just thank you for taking me on a journey. Taking me on a journey of your life. Because a lot of the time I ask this question and I end up being really inspired. And one of the things that stood out for me as you're speaking was really how you are envisioning. It's almost like creating a vision board, creating a vision about your life. You are very young. You didn't know what you're looking at out in the horizon, but somehow you knew that you want to see what's beyond the blue clouds. And you believed that there is something there. You didn't know what it was. But in your mind you're like, oh, there is something there, and I have to touch it. I have to feel it one day. And you're living that dream right now. You envisioned something and you made it happen. I just love that. Very inspiring. I have a lot of guests who have joined me on TikTok. I want you all to take a moment and follow me over there, like and share the current video that you're watching. This is a live recording of the African Father in America podcast, and I have a really special guest, Rahman Nagwere, who is an artist from Uganda, based here in Seattle, Washington. And, we started our show with an amazing African proverb. And then we went into a conversation about a childhood story that inspires my brother Rahman. But now we want to go into the work that you do as an artist. In the world of today, honestly, anybody can be an artist. And I feel that also that's how we were raised in Africa. In Africa, for example, you are sharing how you used to go gardening, how you used to split the firewood for your grandmother. And while you are splitting the firewood, you'd probably be singing, While you are in the garden, you are probably singing so that the workload is a little lighter, But here in America, one thing that I've noticed, if you're working 9 to 5 and you start singing, your colleagues will think that you're crazy, If you are, cleaning your backyard and you start singing, in some neighborhoods, people would be like, is that guy smoking something,
I've been asked that in Uganda before.
Yeah, so talk to us about your art, your music. When did it start? Why is it important for you? And where are you now as an artist? But also, what does success look like for you? Talk to us about like your ultimate vision of your work as an artist as well.
So growing up, I was shy. I mean, that doesn't go away. I was shy. But this is something I argue with people all the time. I go, I'm shy. They go, no, you're not. I'm like, okay. But growing up, this is something I'd never even, my mother had never seen me or heard me sing. I was like that shy. And my other brother would dance in the village and go around. I was also inspired by him. We'd go around on these, we call them mikolos, like the ceremonies. And he would entertain people for a little bit of money and food and stuff. I did not. But something I learned later is my last name, Nagwere, is actually also a name of a clanmate that was one of the first prominent musicians from my town. Like, you cannot, if you're our age, you can know who was the first musician in Kenya. You can know who was the first someone to record, because these people recorded in Europe and stuff. One of the first musicians in my hometown is actually a relative that was named Christopher Nagwere, and he has like a lot of good records, which also is one of the things that will feature in my current story as an artist. I was in by a lot of old music, a lot of Lucky Dube, a lot of inspirational songs like Sweet Mother from Nigeria, like a lot of good stuff that I would listen to when I'm not happy during the day. When I sang the songs from the Psalms too, from the Bible. I was a Muslim kid, but I loved so much to be around church because in church they sang. And then later I started writing my own stuff. They never allow you, like, I don't know if they mama let you go to school and play music. But in Uganda, if you played music, you chose music and then missed school. So I never had a lot of time in choir until high school, when I found my voice and I did a lot. And I was going to school in the city, and then I moved to the village where there wasn't a microphone, where there wasn't anything. And I remember doing the first song of P. Diddy and Asha. That was I Need a Girl. But I did not have a mic. I did not have beats in the background. People joined me in the back and just danced while I was like, well, I'm international, no, and then the microphone without anything. I'm just, until later I just met elephants, producers, and other people in the field that helped me record some of my first songs. I came a long way until I realized music is not all about recording. It's about listening and then using the instruments, especially our African instrument, like I can see in the back. So I worked with a lot of instrumentalists who helped me find my voice And when I met like my friends here in the US who listened to my songs, they were like, wow, you sound better without being recorded. You sound better like this. I was like, wow. So I kept going and going until I moved to the US. Then life got busy again. Because then if you just keep recording music, there's not a lot of money in music. It's more of the healing. It's more of the sharing the stories, which I used to do when I lived in New York. But now I'm a dad. Life is busy. What I just did this year, which would be like an achievement in the music world, I know I have a nice song called Sarah. It was I wrote it for my sister, and then a brother joined me in Uganda. We made a really nice piece. Someday maybe we'll share it here. It's on YouTube. Sarah, Seara, by Rathman. You can find it. It's a nice piece. This song, I made it in some studio by Nassim Production, and then the video was made by my own company that I started, which is Run09, and it's RANN09. So it started as a joke. We started with the video part, and then recently I just opened an audio studio in Kampala, which is packed with a lot of quality equipment. And we recently just made a song with one big artist called Young Mulo. And now we're making another song with a girl that she used to hit Kenya too. Her name is Bella. She goes by Queen Bella, UG. She's in our studio right now making a dancehall song. And what I'm promising East Africa is we want quality music like we are hearing from West Africa. When people hear the song that we just made for Young Mulo right now, they're telling me, brother, this is it. This is what we've been looking for. It's really hitting. I'll share with you, bro. It's really good. I'm looking at quality, making a song in Uganda, bringing it here in the US to like patch it up more so that when it goes back to the radio stations or the clubs, it's not going to be one of the songs that I've made that did not make it up there.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us, just your journey in the music world. Now, because you're from Uganda and Uganda is just approaching another election, I wanted you to also speak about your perspective about the future of Uganda. Are you hopeful or are you tired?
I remember being in one place with you, actually. The first time Bobby Wine ever came to Seattle for the political thing. You did not see me then. But you were up there. You were that big elephant. So I wanted to really meet and talk to you. But I'm in the people power. I'm very open about it. A national unity platform. I'm part of the Seattle group that supports not only Bobby Wine, but the idea of people which are a unity platform. There is a lot of hope, but we have a very, very, very huge problem in Uganda. Like Bobby Wine can be president even right now. In Uganda, we lack. In 2002, they took away political education, and I'm lucky. I'm among those people that studied it before it was announced that they were going to delete it from the curriculum. So the whole generation, they don't know what they're doing. From the bloggers, from the people in the news, from the young artists, nobody knows what their right is. So they listen more to propaganda against Bobby Wine. They listen more to, they would compare Bobby Wine to the president's son, because the president's son can throw a bigger party and feed thousands of people who he paid to come there. So he's rich, right? And then Bobby Wine doesn't have anything to give the people. That alone will make Ugandans think, what is he going to give Uganda if he does not even buy people a sack of rice? So that we have a bigger problem that would be solved if my people went even on YouTube to learn about political science. That's what we are lacking.
I think,
Once that enters the people, it will be very good. We are hopeful in Bobby Wine. He's
yeah.
inspirational, and I wish him the best, and I'll still be that support for him.
Yeah, that reminds me so much about Kenya, what you just said, you know. I think Kenya and Uganda, and by extension, many African countries are the same based on exactly what you said, you know. People look at now, people look at what can I eat now, and who can feed me. It doesn't matter how they got the food that they're giving me or the money that they're giving me. Maybe it's your money that they're giving you, you know. Maybe it's your food that they stole from you and they're now giving you just a little bit right before the election so that you can vote for them, you know.
And they don't know that these people can starve them until that time of the election. It's a technique they can play, make you poor. So when the elections are about to go on, they give you a little bit and you feel like, oh my goodness, this is a relief. You can be president for the next 5 years again and starve me in 2 years. So, yeah, it keeps going and going. If they took money out of it and just supported, like, but people still do, it would be very good.
Incredible, incredible. Yeah, I also have a lot of hope for Uganda. You know, I love visiting Uganda. I love my Ugandan people. I love my matoke and my Uganda waragi.
Uganda, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been able to bring some back, but I haven't been in Uganda in a while. So I don't
yeah.
have any, but someday I'll bring you some.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I just want to give you space to talk about anything I didn't ask during our conversation today. I see that we are being joined by quite a few people on YouTube, and I want to make sure that you have subscribed to my channel. My special guest today is Rakman Nagwere, who is a wonderful artist from Uganda, based here in Seattle, Washington. And we've really talked about incredible things. You should watch the show from the beginning. We started with an African proverb from Uganda, from Nigeria, and then we talked about a childhood story, you know, covering what really inspires my brother Rakman, you know, a childhood story that inspires him, and then we talked about his musical journey, and now we want to go into really your closing remarks. You know, what is it that you feel that I did not ask you during our conversation that you want to touch on before we wrap up?
Yeah, one thing that I forgot to share with you, and really thank you. I don't know how much more time we have, but thank you for doing this, bro. This is really inspirational. I listen to, I watch YouTubes and live videos, and of course I share. Thank you for standing for East Africa, especially. Um, so one thing I did not share with you is how I love acting. And before moving to Seattle, I used to like, one thing that I did in 2 years after moving to the US was featuring on some of those big TV shows. And I also don't know how I did it, but I was like on Blacklist, I was on Billions, and then like a lot of them. I got to meet people like Spike Lee, the directors, and but when I moved to Seattle, that kind of went down. But I'm still working on how to do that in Seattle. Maybe I'll share a bigger story when that time comes too. I also work with an organization, you know, coming from Uganda, and you know, speaking tribes. We have like 54 tribes, and while out here we have like a big organization that is UNA, which is like the umbrella of all the tribes in Uganda, and then each tribe has their own small thing. Right now, I work with the Bama Saba. I don't know if there's people in Kenya like the Luya who speak like me. The Bukusu people are also like welcome if there is there's some interest. The organization is called NAMCA, which is NAMCA. We have like events every year where we share the culture. We share proverbs like this and those little songs that we sing in the field while we're taking care of animals. We share stories. We bring in our leaders to come speak to us, and then we come up with ideas on how we can support or engage with our community. So I think next year we might be in Oklahoma. Maybe, hopefully, you won't be busy because this year you had something. You had Madaraka going, and I missed that because it was on the same weekend. But hopefully, we can invite you to also do something with us. And everybody, Kenyans in the US, Kenyans in Kenya, you're all welcome. But also, we can do something like this during the event and stream it with you.
Thank you. I love that. I would be honored. I would be honored to be involved at any capacity. So keep me posted. Share with me the dates, and I just really appreciate you for making the time for us to have this wonderful conversation. A lot of the time I tell myself that if nothing happens out of this work that I'm doing with the African Father in America podcast, at least my children are going to be able to know who I am by watching these episodes and knowing me over multiple episodes, not just one. And that way, they at least have a direct story from me and the way I engage with other people, and how I was thinking, So today you are able to do that as well, for your people. Back home in Uganda and even in Kenya, there is so much misinformation, especially when it comes to us here in the diaspora. People have very, very, big ideas of how life is here in America. So this platform also completes the story for a lot of our brothers and sisters who are actually watching right now. And things are not so rosy and the way you think, So I hope that you can always, let's see what comments came through here. And oh wow, a lot of comments. I can't read all of them, but I know that Binti Africa, thank you so much. Binti Africa is saying here that love today's proverb. I think it also means we should master ourselves and our greatness so as not to be bothered by negativity. I love that. Sister Marsha also joining us here is saying, I feel like I have visited Kisumu because of all the information Simon shares. You have,
awesome.
that's true. But listen, you have to come to Kisumu, Marsha. It's so different in real life, And then Stella says, I love elephants a lot. I didn't know that. They always seem like they can give beautiful hugs. Don't try hugging elephants. They will trample on you. Anyway, invite other Africans and Zimbabwe family to the events. Oh, okay, great. You've been told what to do there, Anyway, thank you all for joining me. I just want to remind you that next week I will not be broadcasting the show, and even the week after. I'm taking a little break, and I might be traveling. I have to manage some family situations, so I just need to reduce how much I'm doing during the next 2 weeks at least. So you will still be getting a lot of content. We have so much content that we don't share because when you're live broadcasting every day, Monday to Friday, it's so difficult to share every beautiful thing that happens every single day. So this period of not live broadcasting is going to give us time also to rethink about how we tell, the stories that we do, how we bring this show to you. So it's also going to be a time for reflection and a time for thinking and bringing this show back to you in a more beautiful way. One of the things I'm thinking about is exactly what Brother Rahman was talking about, bringing the shows to the community in person, So I'll be doing live recorded events in different parts of the world. I don't know where yet, but that's part of our plan, to be able to live record in Kenya, in Uganda, in Australia, in Namibia. So just everywhere in the world. We want to bring the show to you. And so just keep us in your prayers, keep us in your meditation. Tomorrow, please come to the show because it's our last one for a while. For a couple of weeks, we will not be live streaming the way we normally do. And we'll be changing a few things and then bringing the show back to you in a more robust and wonderful way. So again, thank you, Brother Rahman. Thank you for making the time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for the opportunity and for the great work you do. And thanks for everybody for following and sharing. And please, let's spread the word and let it go all over Africa. And let's all meet here.
Excellent. Peace and love. You too.
Thanks.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father, tujikaze, America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle,